This is the Tommy Sule Podcast, your inspirational hub for everyday empowerment.
On the Tommy Sule Podcast, we discuss and learn about simple ways to live life better every day. This will help you approach challenges with a clear mind and open heart. My desire is to bring clarity to some important things that are often ignored, but needed to live better every day. With every episode, you will receive insights to live lighter, freer, and happier. I promise each episode will be eye-opening, providing clarity for better living. While I am not a typical therapist, I believe that my unique perspectives on issues and valuable lessons from real-life situations will benefit you. However, when necessary, you are encouraged to seek professional assistance on certain subjects. Welcome to the Tommy Sule Podcast, where it's all about inspiration, purpose, and lifestyle. Hi there, welcome to the Tommy Sule Podcast. I hope you are well and I hope your day has been going great so far. Our topic today is, are you tired, Moses? Are you tired, Moses? Dealing with the burden of leadership and everyday responsibility. We live in a time where there's so much, they call it mental load. There is so much expectations. It's like the voice of expectation and culture is screaming at us, weighing down on us, responsibilities that those before us may have carried with compassion and lighter shoulders. These same responsibilities, especially for adults, middle-aged adults, old adults, young and growing and upcoming adults, especially probably as women, or even men for that matter, there is a certain weight, unspoken burden in everyday responsibility that has produced a high amount of burnout and overwhelm than there has been in more than half a century. And so we are looking at dealing with the burden of leadership and everyday responsibility for those who are leaders, for those who are adults, for those who are a proverbial Moses. Now, Moses, we are speaking of the biblical and historical figure Moses, who was known as the man who led Israel out of Egypt. Everyone has, or everyone is, a proverbial Moses. You have fathers, you have mothers, you have bosses, supervisors, managers, self-taught, self-led, self-entrepreneurs. So either you are a Moses yourself or you have a Moses in your life. You're a parent, you're a teacher, you run a business, you are part of an organization. Everybody has a Moses or is a Moses in one way or the other. I believe that every individual is an entity. Every individual is an organization of itself. And every individual, permit me to use this choice of words, is a nation. And so this message is not for those who have the title of leadership. This message is for everyone. Because in everyone is a Moses. There is a dream, a cause, a hope, a goal that you have set out from where you are now, and you are hoping to get there. Sometimes there's someone who can hold us by the hand, a mentor, a guide, and sometimes we are all we've got. So sometimes we all have to be our own Moses. We have to champion the course of our lives, and There are those who depend on us, those who are leaning on us, those who are looking onto us while we are still trying to get our lives together. And just like it happened to Moses, our proverbial hands sometimes get tired. When Moses led the children of Israel from Egypt out of slavery through many challenges and setbacks, he led them into the wilderness with more challenges and setbacks, countless setbacks, up until the time when they arrived at the promised land. And one of those setbacks and one of those challenges that we have a clear record of Moses being physically exhausted, physically weak, and physically tired was when there was a war. And this war came against Israel in the wilderness. The enemies of Israel tried to attack Israel and tried to wage a war. And Moses had an army, he had a structure in place, he had a system in place, he had a general called Joshua who was sent to fight the war with the soldiers of Israel. And Moses said, "You go fight. I will stand upon the mountain and intercede and worship on behalf of Israel." Moses stood on the mountain to pray with his hands lifted up. And as long as his hands were up, the children of Israel were winning. Whenever Moses' hands would get exhausted, maybe to stretch or just to bring his hands down for whatever reason or the other, the children of Israel began to lose. And Moses observed this. Now keep in mind that wars do not happen in minutes. Battles do not span an hour. Battles can span over a long, engaging process of time. You don't take a break and come back to continue fighting the battle. It is ongoing, minute after minute, seconds after seconds. And there is no telling, or rather no precise fixed time as to when battles at that time in history would end. Luckily for Moses, there were two men he took up the mountain with him that were not engaged in the physical battle. One man's name was Aaron, and the other man's name was Hur. Follow me and learn the lessons here. One man's name was Aaron, and the other man's name was Hur. Now, Aaron and Hur also noticed that when Moses' hands were lifted high up, the children of Israel were winning. And anytime Moses' hands were brought down, mysteriously, the children of Israel would start to lose against their enemies. And so they realized the winning secret in the hands of Moses being lifted up. And so they brought a stone. There were no chairs at the time. They brought a stone, a big stone, large and heavy enough to support the weight of Moses, and made Moses sit down. But that wasn't enough. Moses' hands were tired and Moses was physically exhausted. And so he lifted up his hands, and Aaron took one hand up and Hur took one hand up. So Moses' hands were lifted, but Aaron and Hur were holding him up. Maybe you are a Moses of your time. Maybe you are not directly engaged in the day-to-day running of the business or day-to-day running of the family. But there is something unique and special that you do that causes your tribe to win. Whatever the raising of your hands may be, there is something unique and special that only you bring to the table. And when you do that, it makes such a difference in your life, in your business, in your family. Everybody is a Moses, and there is something unique that only you do that can cause your tribe to win. But here's the thing. Sometimes in doing that thing that only you know how to do, that you were blessed to be able to do for your tribe, for yourself, for your company, for your business, you get tired, you get exhausted, your hands grow weak and weary. And should you stop, should you rest, things might go south, things might go down, things might have drastic consequences. So in that situation, what do you do? And I think that's what leads to burnout. We run and we run and we go until we physically cannot go anymore. And this causes inflammation and disease and consequences and regret. Let's learn from Moses in this story. It's Moses' hands that were causing Israel to win the war. But he went up with Aaron and Hur anyway. Having an Aaron and having a Hur, having to ask for help, being willing to reach out for help, being surrounded by a tribe that can assist and hold you up when you are falling is key to surviving seasons of burnout, overwhelm, and exhaustion. Everybody has an Aaron in their lives. Everybody has a her in their lives. They may not know it. They may not have recognized it. They may not have groomed those relationships. But if you need someone to hold your hand, the universe never grows or exists in and of itself. It has a way of attracting help when we need it the most, especially if we spend time recognizing key relationships in our lives that will be necessary for when the burnout comes. So learn to delegate, learn to open up to trusted sources, learn to build leaders even as you lead. Keep them in the know of how the system runs. Even if it's your hands that have to be up, make sure that there are people who can tell when you're tired. They can tell when you're exhausted. And like a relay race, they can take the baton, even if it's for a little while. Thank God we live in a time where there are systems that help to relieve the burden and ease of leadership. We have AI, we have washing machines, we have nannies, we have caretakers, we have Uber drivers. Engage whatever systems of help. Gone are the days when you become a hero for doing everything yourself. That person may not be seen as a hero, but someone who's not very wise and is not willing to build systems of assistance. The greatest corporations are corporations where no man can take the glory, where no man stands alone. We may know the face of the CEO, but the CEO is great because there are thousands and hundreds, sometimes tens of workers, a whole team beside him. With teams and groups and support systems, victory is guaranteed and overwhelm can be overcome. So build a support system today. Engage resources that can help you to do your work more effectively. Embrace rest. It was not a crime for Moses to sit on that stone. And it definitely was not a proof of weakness for Moses to have Aaron hold one hand and her hold one hand. Keep in mind, they could not raise their hands in place of Moses, but they could hold Moses' hands up. Maybe there's someone who can't do things the way you do. Maybe they can't do it as efficiently as you do, but they can assist you when you are at your lowest to be able to do the necessary bare minimum. If Moses, who was so strong, could be weak, tiredness and exhaustion is not proof of weakness. It's okay to realize when you are not able, when you are not 100% at your game. It's okay to reach out for help. It's okay to let your team know that you are incapable of delivering the best of you. Have a close inner circle of people who can recognize when you are unable to deliver your best and can swoop in and cover you. Somebody might be saying, oh, but I'm burnt out right now. I'm exhausted right now. My hands are falling right now. And I have not built a system. I have not built a support. Like I said before, you are not alone. The universe has ways of messages and messengers of help who can swoop in or who will swoop in just in time. The wisdom will come. The strength will come. Take the rest that you need to. You may not be able to take it as long as you want to, but you can find systems to rest, review, and regain your strength every now and then. I'm sure if you look up with objective eyes, there may be a partial Aaron, a partial her, a smile from a neighbor, an encouragement from a friend, a co-worker that may be able, or a mentor, a family member that may be able to not step in or take over, but can say, hey, I see you. You're going to be okay. You're going to get through this. So, dear Moses, I'm rooting for you. I'm believing in you. I'm sending you all the strength and goodwill from here, telling you that you've got this. You're going to make it through this. You are going to excel. You're going to rise and soar through that situation. And also permit me to speak over you and say that your Aaron is coming. Your hair is on the way. You're not going to lose everything because of overwhelm and exhaustion. Someone is coming. They will lift your hands up and they will not let you down. I hope you enjoyed this podcast today. I would love to hear from you how you are a Moses conquering and breaking new grounds and leading and helping people. I also want to hear from the Aarons out there. Maybe there's someone whose hand you're lifting, someone whose hand you're carrying, or maybe you have been carrying people's hands and maybe you are tired yourself and you need an Aaron or her by your side. Please reach out to me. Send me an email at www.tomisule.com, or you can reach out to us on all our social media platforms with the handle Sule-Emmanuel. Thank you so much. This has been the Tomi Sule podcast. Cheers to a rested, stronger, supported version of you. I always love hearing from my listeners, so I will be honored to hear from you. Share with me what you learned from this episode of the Tomi Sule podcast, or questions that you would want me to address. You can send an email to podcast@tomisule.com. You're welcome to visit my website for other valuable resources that will inspire you. Visit www.tomisule.com. That's www.tomisule.com. Till next time, God bless you.
Thank you for joining Tomi on today's podcast. For more on Tomi Sule-Emmanuel, please visit www.tomisule.com. Have an awesome day further.